All right, welcome back to Quarantine Conversations with Virginia College Coaches. My name is Brian Hazard from the Virginia Wrestling Association, and today we are really fortunate to have Tim McGuire, the brand new coach from the brand new program at Shenandoah University in Winchester, Virginia. So Coach McGuire, tell me a little bit about the Hornets and tell me what kind of the great things are happening, even during quarantine in Winchester.
Really hasn't been too bad as far as quarantine right now. Closing up on recruiting for our final guys getting ready for our first season, calling up juniors. Just had to be a little more creative in how we were reaching out. In the beginning, I was walking around campus doing a lot of FaceTime type of things. I actually really kind of enjoyed it. Kids were more open to talk. There was a lot going on, so all of a sudden they were talking about their lives and their families and things outside of wrestling, so it gave me a better chance to really get to know them and what makes them tick. So kind of found some advantages in it. But it's been exciting. Coming into our first year, we really have set up, have over 20 guys coming in. We'll have a kid finish top 3 in state in every single weight class. We have a complete competitive schedule for next year, not really easing our way in, going right in, because I think we'll have a pretty good team to start. So things have been pretty exciting right away.
That's amazing. We're so fortunate to have another program, especially in Winchester, where, man, there's some awesome high school programs there. And plus, Winchester, apple blossoms and the whole deal. It's a beautiful area. I'm sure it's not a difficult place to recruit. Before we go into really the wrestling part, tell me a little bit about the university and tell me some benefits of Shenandoah University and some selling points that you have for recruits who are coming in.
All right, sure. That was really my biggest draw, was coming here and what the university and Winchester in itself has to offer. I'm coming from University of Chicago, tremendous academic school. We're probably would have been top 10 this year athletically as well. In the city of Chicago, wasn't just like, wasn't looking to move right away. Came here and just fell in love with it. Winchester is really diverse and has a lot going on. You mentioned Apple Blossom, ton of restaurants, bars, theater and culture activities going on. So you kind of had this city vibe mixed with the small town feel. And then campus is just beautiful. Looking around, it's just, you're outside of the city, so you're in the mountains. You kind of have all that scenic thing. What I really enjoyed was also just kind of the college, the picturesque campus and things that you have. On top of that, it's the academics that are at Shenandoah. The university itself and its reputation was my biggest draw. When you're picking a college, I strongly believe that you're picking college for the next 40 years of your life, not the next 4 years of your life when you're picking that out. And so leaving a tremendous school like U Chicago, I wanted to find something that was just like that. And that's what I found at Shenandoah, was knowing that when I'm recruiting kids, I can talk about how it's going to benefit the rest of their life and the high academics and that type of draw.
Man, every video I do, I've been. I went back and watched some of the videos. We all have our quarantine beards, man. Everybody. Mine's got a little gray down here, but
my hair's getting a little wild too.
I've been wearing a hat. Yeah, I tell you, the barbershops in the United States are going to crush it, and the beauty salons, because people are going to come in all disheveled.
Right.
People who had man buns, never had one before, are going to come in with these crazy haircuts.
Lines out the door.
So as we look at you coming into coach, and obviously you're a Midwest guy, so you are Chicago, Wisconsin. You went to college, at Marquette, and you had that Midwest feel, and it's a little bit different. So coming to the East Coast and bringing your theories and bringing your culture. What are some things in your vision for a culture for the program that you're starting in Winchester?
I think it'll be a great fit. To start, I walked into a tremendous wrestling culture here, right around Winchester and Frederick County, going around Front Royal and everything. Kyle Simons and Nick Sedelis are two coaches that reached out while I was still in Chicago. Kyle Simons at Skyline really broke down some of the top athletes and the top programs around the area for me, not just talking about his. The other coaches would really be happy with what he had to say. I was able to get ahead of probably over 10 to 20 of the guys that I was going after before I even came to Virginia because of that help. And that came because of the excitement from the high school coaches. When they announced that they were having the program, I already knew I was going to be head coach. My family and everyone around got so excited by seeing the excitement that happened in Virginia. Then when I got here, I was originally coming thinking, I'm pulling Illinois guys, I'm going to pull my Chicago guys, I'm going to bring in, Pennsylvania, New Jersey. I walked in here and found out I was really underestimating the wrestling that is right here. It might not get the same national attention being on divisions. It might just be harder for being outside of Virginia to scout out. But once you're here, I kind of realized that, no, there is talent right here to win and compete at the national level. And that was really exciting for me there. So it's not where I'm coming in and trying to change things. Wrestling's in the newspaper 3 days a week. Got to throw out Brad Faber at the newspaper thing because he reaches out almost every other day trying to get more articles. And so that excitement and knowing we're going to bring in fans and things have really, really helped. And it's also where I form my friends. I don't know anyone, and it's a tremendous family to kind of get with too. Where I'm looking around going, yes, as a wrestling coach, this is great. I got a lot of talent and pool that I could pull from, but at the same time, just unbelievable people that really get wrestling, really get that grind culture, and kind of embrace that part of it. So the mix coming from the Midwest to me it fits in well. One thing that I'd be looking to kind of add in is more of that off-season wrestling. Coming from Illinois, freestyle and Greco is not just big, but it's exciting. It's something that a lot of kids even enjoy more than the folk style. It's how they separate ourselves. The reputation that Illinois probably has comes from pretty much their success at Fargo. And so developing that a little bit more so that every weekend people are looking to get in developmental tournaments, and you actually treat the freestyle and Greco season as a freestyle Greco season to get better in that way, and not just kind of staying on folk style as you creep up. The other thing that kind of want to bring, which I do see here, though I don't want to act like this is something I'm adding in, it's just, just adding to it, is getting the best wrestlers to wrestle with the best wrestlers. Not having high school teams kind of getting worried about their guys leaving or going with other coaches. That the truth is these top 5 kids in state and all the other divisions should be wrestling with each other in the off season. It's iron sharpens iron, and that's how they're going to get to that national level where we're competing on those national tournaments.
Yeah, along with that, I think in my wedding, there were guys from every program because my dad had a program kind of similar. It's more fun when you get to go with different coaches, and I'd love to we send kids to Winchester and to Fauquier and down to Predator. And I think that's a big deal, especially with VAWA. We're really trying to reach out and obviously, with your background, we're going to be, tapping you on the shoulder and saying, Coach McGuire, we need your help with our national teams and go from there. It's really awesome right now in Virginia with Division III. What do we have? 7 programs in Division III right here in Virginia.
Yeah.
So you're going to have natural rivalries. I'm not sure how it was at Chicago, but talk to me really quickly about what you're excited about with those rivalries and what you're excited about just as a whole.
Yeah, we'll definitely have the national rivalries because we're all coming up at the same time too, and so we're going to be developing at the same level. We're all have our visions that we're putting in. I really do see us competing a little bit with Pennsylvania and going almost a little north into that wrestling area, just where we're located. We're about 20 minutes from Pennsylvania, that I think recruiting-wise will be very much Northern Virginia going into then Pennsylvania and New Jersey too. But Roanoke's going to be starting up a team. We talk about Nate Yatzer coming from Ferrum, who built a really strong program there. Briggs taking over at Ferrum. That right now is probably the Virginia D3 school that we're going after. Ferrum, knowing that they'll build good programs there. Yeah, we have these strong rivalries, and really right now as we're all new programs, the way I'm differentiating ourselves is through the university, is through the towns. Of talking about really what Winchester has to offer, such a great city where you wanted to live, and even if you're a college kid, just be coming out and having fun, you're not stuck in the middle of nowhere. And then as a university in our programs and our academic programs, what we have to offer and the experiences that you'll have at the university, I believe are unmatched at other smaller D3 schools around. And at the same time, then what we offer after graduation and your opportunities in life, I think are huge, which really help then in the type of person that I'm recruiting in that type of way.
Well, which segues to my next question. When you are out there recruiting, is there a specific look? Is there a specific kid? Is there a specific type of personality that you're looking for to recruit for the Hornets?
There is. I think externally you're going to see that personality coming out in many different ways. I mean, I got a kid that could be super shy, and then you get the crazy kid too always got on your team. But my biggest thing is that process. In wrestling, you hear often that talk about getting that 1% better every day. To me, it's having that approach in everything you do in life. An average person can put all their eggs in one basket, work as hard as they can, and focus on one sole thing and become really great at it. And the truth is, I don't want average kids. I want elite kids. And elite kids have that approach in everything that they do. They don't have to compromise being good at one thing in order to be good at another. So that same kid that's coming in gearing to win a national championship and putting that work in there, that's that same kid that does it in the classroom and gets A's. It's the same kid pushing to get the better internship. It's the same kid that is a great father as well as a good employer, as well as a good husband, strong in his friendships. And so in every aspect of that approach, I really want to see that. So I can start to see that through families, through your relationships with your friends. And although what I care about as a wrestling coach is what's going to happen on the mat and you wrestling, that is how you win. That's what winners are. The difference between that guy who wins in the semifinals or in that last 30 seconds of the match, it's not really conditioning and these type of things. That stronger toughness is somebody where it's just an innate habit in what they do and everything in that approach. So I really strongly search that out. Where I've even had kids where we're talking and they're thinking about coming out for wrestling. And I know a lot of new programs are concerned about numbers and just want to bring in kids. I've told multiple kids, no, it's just not the right fit at Shenandoah because we're looking really for winners and not people just to be filling in. And so that the benefit to that too, when I'm telling kids is this is who I'm going to put you around. If you go off, LeBron James always says you're the average of the 5 people that in your life. And so then make those 5 people great. And so by forming this team and putting those people around you, I'm also the kind of enhancing what your environment and who your friends and things will be as you're growing up.
And that's amazing. That is exactly what we need in Virginia. That's exactly what we need in a new program. I love the way you're looking at things. So we want to support you. And I think that's the important thing. And big reasons why we're doing these quarantine conversations is obviously we don't want wrestling to die. We want wrestling to grow. We want men's wrestling. We want women's wrestling to grow. We want our Olympic sports, our freestyle and Greco to grow. But beyond us just wanting that to happen, what are some things that the community, the coaches, whether I'm a high school coach or whether our youth coaches or our average fan or the people who just want to get involved, what can we do to benefit you and Shenandoah's program moving forward?
Supporting the programs, the college program, finding ways to get out and get and watch their matches. And really all of ours, between only the D3 schools and the D1 schools, just seeing those numbers go up and participation is going to help wrestling as a whole, as athletic departments look and see that this is valued within the community. Wrestling might not have the overwhelming numbers that you see in basketball or football or something, but wrestling's niche is extremely strong. And we know that as a community, that if you kind of mess with wrestling, that all of a sudden the whole nation kind of come together. And so that same way, if we could show athletic departments really the strength of our community, I think that would mean a lot. When there's articles in the newspaper, even letting the writers and stuff know, because they don't know what's being read and hearing these comments. They only hear negatives. And we really appreciate when all of a sudden we're seeing wrestling in the papers and being covered. So letting them know that we appreciate it really does encourage them to give more coverage on stuff like that. My other thing is then encouraging the off season. Not just as high school coaches wanting to run your high school off season thing to build on your culture and everything that you're developing in your program, but also kind of pushing into the better freestyle and Greco clubs and developing in that type of way. It will increase wrestling, as you were talking about, just kind of the culture and the community around it. It will in turn increase the individual wrestling programs, getting them out wrestling with the best. The other things, though, I think Virginia does well. Something we talk about wrestling and embrace wrestling in the right ways. We talk about the grind and really like the culture of it. I do see Virginia starting now to go out to the national tournaments. In fact, we host a lot of the national tournaments here in Virginia, so it's a huge advantage. But continuing to be involved in those.
Great. So again, we just want to thank you for being a part of our quarantine conversations. Coming to Virginia and being a part of the wrestling community. Do you have anything else for us before we close it out?
No, thank you very much for this. I think what you're doing is great. Love getting wrestling kind of out there and letting people talk to the coaches.
Amazing. Well, we appreciate you. We hope you stay safe and whatever we can do in the future, reach out to our Virginia Wrestling Association, and we're more than happy to help you moving forward.
Great. Thank you much. Thank you very much, Brian.
Thank you.